It's about time with Rashawn's About Time Boxing, aka Mr. Trill 100 Mil. What's up to my About Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang? Thank you to every single one of y'all, man. I mean it, who has been rocking with me, supporting my channel, who has been taking out the time to watch the videos, like the videos, share the videos, and leave the comments. Man, I appreciate y'all, more than y'all know. If you have not already subscribed to the channel and you're watching this video or any of my videos for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Pass the word about Rashawn's About Time Boxing. Encourage others to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button to stay up on the latest with Rashawn's About Time Boxing. Y'all hear me say it all the time. Y'all know the channels that I rock with. Y'all can check my other videos, go in the description box and see all of the channels that I rock with. Please support those channels and subscribe to those people as well. Since, it seemed like, this whole Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence thing is, maybe they doing it the way they doing to keep everybody hanging for a reason. But I'm going to talk about somebody that I feel like, needs more attention and should be getting more attention. This individual that I'm speaking about, we talking about the future phenom of the welterweight division and possibly of boxing. We talking about somebody who turned pro, who made their pro debut in 2016. We talking about a fighter who has KO'd his last 19 opponents. Would have been 20, but one of them was a no contest. We talking about somebody who has been KOing his opponents since 2017. 5-year KO run, putting them down. And some of y'all already know who I'm talking about. And for those of y'all who don't know, I'm talking about, Jaron Boots Ennis. Because, okay, let's say that the Terrence Crawford fight and Errol Spence fight don't happen. Now, either way it go, and some of this, I blame, these sanctioning bodies for not mandating, fighters to fight certain people, for not making it, obligatory for certain fighters to fight each other, especially if they want to, get back to a certain level. You got guys like Keith Thurman, I think he's 29-1. With 22 knockouts or something like that. And this guy's going on talking about how he's not a gatekeeper, and he feel like that he should be right back in center field, getting all of the big fights, when he was one of the main people denying everybody, their opportunity. He denied Errol Spence. He denied a few people and made up excuses why. Now he was on a hiatus and he came back, and then he fought Mario Barrios. And I can't even believe that, maybe they shouldn't have. I don't understand why that fight, shouldn't have just been on regular Showtime. That fight shouldn't have been pay-per-view. And if that fight wasn't pay-per-view, then maybe they would, it wouldn't be no discrepancies about the money between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Y'all wasted that money on that fight. That fight shouldn't have been a pay-per-view fight. And Keith Thurman, was coming back off a long layoff. That should have been regular Showtime. That wasn't no big draw fight. It wasn't like a fight that people was looking forward to. Wasn't like Keith Thurman was, And that's the crazy thing about it, because let's say, Keith Thurman would have fought Jaron Ennis, even though he lied and said he didn't know who Jaron Ennis was, and then finally said, yeah, he know who he is, and how he really has no intentions on fighting him, because he know once Boots whoop his ass, that's just going to, knock him right back down, and nobody's not going to want to fight him. That's why he's trying to, avoid Jaron Ennis. But let's say he had fought Jaron Ennis instead of Mario Barrios. I bet you 10-1 that fight wouldn't have been on pay-per-view. They would have just made it regular Showtime. So I don't understand, why Mario Barrios and Keith Thurman was a pay-per-view fight. And I said this in many videos before. Jaron Ennis does not get the type of recognition that he deserves. He does not get it. And he is a future phenom. He's a phenomenal fighter and athlete now. And yes, he's one of the best in the welterweight division. And I'm going on record right now, and I'm gonna tell y'all straight like this. I know some of y'all gonna be like, oh man, come on, man, you shouldn't say that about time, blah blah blah. But I'm gonna say it. Nobody's beating Jaron Ennis. Nobody's beating Jaron Ennis. I'm telling y'all. See, it's a reason why people, are avoiding him. And I'm tired of, and I said this once before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm tired of people, keep talking about, oh, Jaron Ennis is a high risk, low reward, and all that. I'm tired of people saying that. I mean, how long? That excuse is tired. I mean, y'all was saying that stuff when, he, was just working his way up, when he was 10-0, 12-0. Oh yeah, he good, but he still gotta, he still gotta be proven. I don't say, and even still now, you got some people that feel like oh man, well, he gotta prove himself. When it appears to me that we in the state of boxing now, where fighters, supposedly the top guys or the greats can basically, fight lower opposition and still proclaim their greatness. And people accepting it. RAKTAK. But people are accepting this now in boxing. They're accepting it. They go pick and choose who they want to fight, and and they beat these people who they know is lower level opposition. Then all of a sudden they proclaim their greatness. Yet all the while, still trying to proclaim that they want to fight the best and beat the best. Oh, I want to prove that I'm the best. I want to fight the best. This is what they all say. But it's only a few. It's only a few who really wants to fight, who really wants to fight the best. And Jaron Ennis is one of them. He's one of them. No, I don't think Virgil Ortiz is one. So please, y'all don't say like, oh, Virgil Ortiz is one. See, this is the difference. All of these people, whether it's Gary Russell's brother, Virgil Ortiz, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman, anybody else in the welterweight division. A lot of those guys, when Jaron Ennis' name come up, they talk about, that fight I'd rather fight him further down the line. Jaron Ennis is saying, look, I'll fight these guys now, and I'll fight them I'll fight them later on. I'll fight them now, and I'll fight them later. But his hunger is falling, on deaf ears. The hunger of this kid is falling on deaf ears. That's why when his opportunity come, when Jaron Ennis get his shot, and when he's in that position where he can, select who he wants to fight, I don't want to hear nobody, and I mean nobody, talking about he's ducking or he's running or he's scared of this person. I don't want to hear nobody saying that. I don't want to hear nobody saying that. And we know about the video with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford when they was having a dispute talking about the tougher fights and the easier route and all that. And Errol Spence said, why wouldn't I take the easier route? Why wouldn't I take the easier route? That's why he fought guys like Mikey Garcia. There's no insult to Mikey. No insult to Mikey at all. But he knew Mikey couldn't hurt him. Danny, mentally was in a different place. Physically he wasn't, you know what I mean? He had, he was a little drained in that fight. See, a lot of times y'all don't be, a lot of y'all don't be realizing that, people have, a lot of these fighters and they teams and stuff, they get information on people. They know when people struggling, to make weight, or if they're going to struggle to make weight and all, and put these rehydration clause, anything that'll get them the advantage. And I'm not saying that Tank stopping Mario Barrios wasn't a spectacular fight, but Barrios was having issues already making 140. And that's why he said that fight with Tank would probably be his last fight. And he didn't. He lost to Tank. Tank stopped him. He didn't make up no excuses. But afterwards, what did he say? He was having issues with the weight. Danny went up to 154. Why? Because he said he was having issues making 47. When people struggle to make weight, it's called starching your body. That can take strength out of you. And anybody who's trained, or boxed or been in fights, in that ring and all that, had to make weight and struggled to do that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So y'all know that I'm not just, shooting my mouth off, just spitting stuff, nonsense or, shit. I'm not saying stuff that's not adding up or don't make sense. And when people can do those things without having those issues, you have to be able, you gotta understand your body. That's why Shakur Stevenson, when he was, at 126, then he went up to 130. And then when he just fought his last fight, he lost the belts on the scale because he was like, look, I'm not going to drain myself out. And then go in there, and then after, 3 or 4 rounds, I'm drained out. I ain't got nothing to go with. I'd rather go ahead, let him take those. I want some more belts. At least ain't nobody beat me for them. But I'd rather, not drain myself to make weight, go into the fight and be able to perform at a high level rather than to drain myself out and look bad and then everybody start to criticize him. So, like that whole weight thing, that's a major thing there. And some people do go up in weight to run away from people. But I'm telling y'all right now, there's a lot of people running from Jaron Ennis. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. Oh, it's just not the right time, blah, 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 blah. I don't understand why he's 30-0 with 29 knockouts. Jaron Ennis don't have no interim, no intercontinental. He don't have no WBA, IBF, WBC, WBO. Not even the IBO welterweight title. All these other fighters have an interim or intercontinental, WBO, IBF, WBA, something. How come he don't have one? And the one time Ed Levine put that that IBO belt up, when he fought Van Heerden got out of that fight with the headbutt and all that kind of stuff. That was a no contest. And I feel like in Jaron Ennis, his very next fight, the IBO belt should have been there. Everybody, look at Virgil Ortiz got some type of WBO something. Ryan Garcia, WBC something. Rashidi Ellis, IBF interim or intercontinental something. Everybody has some type of interim or intercontinental or some type. Jaron Ennis, why? Y'all don't think that's strange? And why is he not? Why is he? He should be able to fight for that WBA regular title. If Errol Spence weasel his way out of this fight with Terrence Crawford, he should not be fighting what's the name for that WBA title. And I know everybody, the WBA mandated that it be only one champion. Well, let that fight be, because obviously he don't want to give Jaron Ennis as the #1 contender for the IBF belt, so he don't want to give him that shot. So why not let Jaron Ennis fight for that WBA title? Or are y'all worried about, what's her name? Gloria, I think her name is Gloria Hernandez. And she married to the guy, Ricardo Rizzo. He's an executive for the WBA. He's the one that picks all of the judges. And for those of y'all who don't know who Gloria Hernandez is, she was the one years ago who called Michelle Obama a monkey face. And I'm saying that to say that it's some tricky things that goes on in the WBA. Before Ugas got his fight with Errol Spence, you see what they tried to do to him. Told him he would get a fight with Crawford or Spence, then they tried to stick him. But like I said before, I feel like that these sanctioning bodies are weak. I think they are more weaker now than they've ever been. The sanctioning bodies are more weaker now than they've ever been. More biased, more bullshit. They are more biased now than they've ever been. And I just feel like when it comes to certain things, like if y'all got a fight like Crawford and Spence, that y'all still trying to figure that out. And if guys like Keith Thurman wants to get back in the top, then y'all should mandate that he should have to fight these guys. If he's saying he's not a gatekeeper and all that, you're not a gatekeeper, okay. Well, Jaron Ennis is not a prospect either. He's a legitimate contender. Keep telling people it's a difference between a prospect and a contender. They're not the same. Jalil Hackett, who got next, and who's a good welterweight, he's a prospect. 3-0, 4-0, something like that. With 3 knockouts or 2 knockouts, 3 knockouts. 4-0. Yeah, 4-0 with 3 knockouts or 2 knockouts. But he's a prospect. We're not talking about the stuff that the WBA did when they didn't even have Jaron Ennis ranked, and they had somebody named Gabriel Maestre who was like 4-0 and had him ranked like number 3 or 4. And that's because probably one of the executives for the WBA worked in his corner. And I did a few videos about that, talking about how, why Jaron Ennis wasn't ranked. And next thing you know, a few months later or a month or so later, next thing you know, WBA finally ranked him. Now think about this, y'all. I'm telling y'all, think about this. This kid is 30-0. Okay? Undefeated. How many people do y'all know that has a record like that, who has not won a title? Yeah, I'm talking about, and they're like good, destined to be great, phenomenal, can do everything. Fight forward, backwards, sideways, angles, name it, he can do it. Bang, box, brawl, he can do it all. Jaron Ennis is what you call a complete fighter. He can do it all. When there's Errol Spence won a world title when he was 22-0 or something like that. Sean Porter won a world title when he was like 17-0. A lot of these guys won world titles and they records were 20-0. Everybody's saying Boots need to wait, but nobody said that about Loma. When Loma won a world title, he was 10-0 or 9-0 or something like that. And when he won a world title, nobody said nothing about that. Shakur Stevenson, I think, was 13-0 when he won his first, or 12-0 when he won his first world title. Don't give me, I don't want to hear, and listen, I don't want to hear that stuff like, oh, well, different divisions, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah, I get all that. But Jaron Ennis don't have. I mean, the welterweight Ring Magazine title is even vacant. And if I'm not mistaken, the IBO welterweight title is still vacant. How come they couldn't put either one of those up when he fought Castillo Clayton, or when he fought Delorme, or when he fought Lipin-Yates? It seemed like, I'm telling you, it seemed like they are deliberately trying to stack the deck against this kid, like they gonna frustrate him. But you know what? That only makes him work harder. I don't think y'all even understand what type of fighter Jaron Ennis really is. Dedicated. This kid eats, sleeps, drink, breathe, walks, talk, drive, boxing. I'm telling y'all, he's different. Y'all don't have to believe me. But his resumes, and I don't care what y'all can question who he fought. Y'all, I don't care. Y'all can do that stuff all y'all want. But I tell you one thing. Put him in there with your favorite fighter and watch what he do to him. I guarantee it. I'll put my money on Jaron Ennis against anybody. Anybody. And I have. But I'll put my money on Boots against anybody, any day. He is the legitimate future phenom of the welterweight division. And he can go up to 154. And I'm telling y'all right now, at 147, nobody's beating Jaron Ennis. But I already know some of y'all going to be like, I disagree. It's fine. You can disagree. It's all good. It's all good. Drop the comments in the comment section below. But don't forget to like this video and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. But drop the comments and let me know. Jaron Ennis, the future phenom of the welterweight division. It's time. It's time. Period. It's time. He should have been a world champion 5, 6, 7, 8 fights ago. He should have been a world champion. If other people was able to get the opportunity and do it, nobody said they had to wait. Nobody said Spence had to wait. Nobody said Crawford had to wait. Nobody said that. Everybody rolled the wave when those guys was coming through. But now it's Jaron Ennis, and either he still got to prove something or it's just not his time yet. Nah, it's his time. I'm done hearing all that, man. I don't want to hear none of that stuff. No, it's just not his time. So what he got to be? What? Be 50 fights in before he become a world champion? 50-0? You know, this similar thing happened to Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Because a lot of people was avoiding him. Just so happens, those two are two of the best switch hitters in the game. Marvin Hagler, the original switch hitter. He's the original. He was the one who was able to do that, switch hit first. And Bud came, and then it's Jaron Ennis. Those are the three best switch hitters in the entire sport of boxing. Period. Period. And like I said, I will put my money on Jaron Ennis against anybody. Anybody in the welterweight division. And I guarantee you, Boots is going to come out on top.